I don't know, like, I'm not a mentally strong person, and I'm very sensitive, and I'm very fragile. And it's hard for me to comprehend forever change because it's scary.
Yeah.
And I am worried. I'm always fearful of making the wrong decision based off of how I feel right now. Well, what if there's so many things in play that I can't see the big picture? What if I'm so solely focused on my own emotions and how something makes me feel? Is that important enough to make a big decision?
The Sonder Experience.
This is episode 78, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I couldn't fix that.
Really?
I lost the footage.
Of you redoing it. That's okay.
That's like, remember I told you I had that huge issue where I like deleted everything?
Because I know you said you edited it and then it wasn't edited anymore, right? But I didn't know you lost anything.
I had to edit it 3 times.
Whoa.
Because like right now, that's my shot.
Okay, yeah.
That's your shot. And then that's our wide angle.
Yes.
Okay. When I have 3 people, I bring that camera over here and that's their shot.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, sometimes we all still talk at the same time, or especially like if we're laughing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have to take all 3 angles and make one shot, one video that has all 3 of our faces in it.
I see that. Yeah, like a
3 shot, right?
Yeah, 3 shot.
So I have to edit it all the way through one time to get that 3 shot, save that video, and then upload all 4 shots to make one big video.
Upload all 4 shots to make one big video.
Yeah.
Oh, to make it so like it's all in the same frame.
Correct.
Oh wow.
And so I edited it to get it a 3 shot, and then I did the whole big video and deleted everything and then had to do it again.
Do you know what you did to make it do that?
Yeah. I was so tired that I was like, my computer was like, oh, you don't have enough space to render this video, so go ahead and delete some stuff. I was like, okay, cool. So I deleted a bunch of stuff.
I'll delete everything we just did.
I got rid of everything, dude. I was so bummed out.
Oh no.
I was bummed and I was just scrambling and I felt bad because I was like, man, I'm not going to get this out by Monday.
You'd think technology would have a way for you to retrieve that somewhere. You know what I mean?
I deleted it and then I emptied my recycle bin.
Well, you did it. That wasn't their fault. That was all
It
you.
was me. Technology couldn't help me at that point, dude. I was
like
screwed.
with 2 people, like right now, like you'll go back and forth between my screen, your screen, and then this shot.
Correct. And it's so much easier.
You'll never have us side by side.
Nope.
Okay.
Because our side by side will be.
Is this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot easier.
It's just because, so the way that it's set up is like each individual mic, because I'm recording to my sound bar here, everybody has their own wavelength.
Yeah.
And I make it a different color. So like literally as soon as you start talking, I'll see peaks in the audio and it'll be yellow or blue or cerulean, whatever color I make you.
Oh.
So I can look to see how many people are talking at once because there's so many different wavelengths and colors.
Okay.
That I know when to switch exactly to you once you start talking.
Yep.
When to switch exactly to me when I start talking. And if we're both laughing or both talking, when to switch to the wide.
Wow. So you assign us colors, but the system detects my voice from yours.
Correct, because that's recording separately from mine. So it's 3 different tracks.
Okay, it's by track. It
Correct.
doesn't know like her voice is higher pitched.
No.
His voice.
It's just by track because that wire, that XLR cable feeds into my bar right here, and you're assigned 1 track, and then mine does the same.
Where did you learn? Is this all YouTube that you learned this from?
100%.
Or have you been techie? Because I feel like,
Dude,
I
just deleted everything.
A guy, he's like, I'm not actually techie.
How techie can I be, dude?
I feel like a guy, right? And I'm not trying to stereotype, but you're either techie or you're handy. Do you think you can be both?
I can
like
do.
Handy, I mean like construction, like building stuff, but techie, like, like coding and all of this other.
No, I'm not. Know? I'm such a caveman, dude. I'm a Neanderthal when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So you're more handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess a guy can be, as a female, it can be both. But I've always been like, I need a handy guy.
I feel like women are more tech savvy for some reason.
You think so?
I think so. Like in like the more of regular people.
Yeah.
Of just regular, like if you pick 100 people, 50% women, 50% men.
Yeah.
Men don't give a shit usually because we want to be the handy guy. You know what I mean? So women like
But again, I think men are now into the algorithm and into all of that.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
No.
But like, I guess you would have to be, because if you're a woman and you're in social media, like you just kind of show your body these days and you'll be all right.
You'll be fine.
You know what I mean? Like a guy, you got to be pretty built
Yeah.
to just show your body.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. And like all this stuff you just described to me, I feel like now even like you can go to school for this stuff and you can go to school. I really think like in the next few years, like there'll be like a school to become an influencer and all of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's already marketing classes and stuff, right?
In like, well, marketing, but does that entail like social? I mean, I guess marketing is social media.
Well, I mean, there's influencers that tell you like, okay, you got to make 3 videos a day. You need to post at this time on this day, and you need your videos to be 15 seconds long, and you need this.
Have you taken courses on this type of thing?
I'm
self-taught. But there's such a thing.
I'm self-taught.
And that's my thing. I've always, not that I'm like a cheapo, but if I can learn this myself, I don't have to go through like a course or, you know, again, to kind of relate to fitness, like with programming, right? You can buy everyone's program and I could learn so much from, you know, each program and take little things away. But instead, I just kind of look at what resources do I have access to without actually purchasing anything. And then, you know, a course here and there, or, you know, a webinar or whatnot is good. But yeah, I'm kind of the same, like as much as I can learn
by
on
yourself.
my own without having to like purchase or, you know, but then that helps. That's what keeps people in business.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But then you get to learn at your own pace and you can learn the way you need to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1 second. Sorry. What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the Sonder Experience. This is episode 78. 78.
78.
There you go. Daniel's not with us today, Big Brown. He is unfortunately out. So I asked Miss Fit to come in with me, and she's hanging out, and I guess you're the co-host for the day.
Heck yeah.
So I'm excited. I appreciate you coming on short notice.
Misfit is always, especially my Saturdays are freed up now. Like I commented on your last video, like this is truly one of my favorite places to be.
Really?
Seriously.
Do you feel like it is a safe place for you to get out your feelings and emotions?
I don't talk like this with anybody else.
Really?
No. And you know what? Like I will, but the way your conversation, you make it in such a way where it's, you ask about the other person and you don't relate everything back to you, you know, and that's what I've ran into a lot. And I think that's a bad thing. And that's often a mechanism, right? That's my safety mechanism. When I don't know how to keep a conversation going, I'm like, how can I relate this to me or poke fun at myself or make it lighthearted? But you make a conversation so just easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I genuinely just want to know.
Did you learn how to do that? You know, that's just always, and again, I don't think that's something that you can be taught.
I think it has a lot to do with growing up the way that I grew up, because I grew up around the older generation. Yep. And that's all conversation. Yeah. So like all the parties, all the get-togethers, all the reunions, all the this, all the that, it was always people that were 30, 40 years older than me. And they kind of only had conversation because we're not going to go and do wild shit. You know, we're going to just sit and talk at a table and laugh and joke and play. Yep. And I think that's where I got like my gift of gab from. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Conversation is so powerful. I think that's why a lot of my friends are, you know, at least a decade plus older, because it's just, I learn, and not that I try to pick, you know, their brain, but they're open. They want to give me that advice. Yeah. You know? But people have been giving me feedback about you since way before you even started coming on again. Oh my goodness. It's just like the way that you're able to keep up and have conversations and shoot back at me. It's really good. Yeah. Because sometimes I feel like I am a good talker and I might overbear the conversation and then people get nervous. And I hate that because now it's me like pulling stuff out of you. Yeah. You know, and I don't want that because you got shit to say just like I do. Yeah. So like one of the things we didn't get to touch on last episode just because we were going at it is you want to be a teacher. I want to teach. Yeah. I do. And you know what's funny, Garrett? Ever since I could, you know, talk, I wanted to play school. Yeah. You know how kids like play school and like, or like office, right? And you have a fake receipt paper or whatever, or like play restaurant and I would go take like my parents' order and they would make it. I'm like, okay, here's your order, go make it. You know, like that, just writing and those types of games. And I remember being like
14. I'm like, why do I still want to play school? And why will no one play with me? So I'm like, my heart has been in the classroom and just watching. I enjoyed going to school, not necessarily that I was like super like popular in school, no, but I enjoyed the work. I enjoyed note taking. I enjoyed being organized.
Are you a good student?
I was a very good student.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
was
cool.
very Miss Goody.
Really?
Everything, yep. Like anything below like a 97, I'm like, not my best work.
Were you straight A's?
You know, yeah.
Really?
I'm straight A's. So far, I'm straight A's now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've yet to have like a B in anything. And even like right now, my professor, like I'll submit something and each question, there's 5 questions. Each question's worth 5 points. I'll miss one and I'm so quick to redo the submission because luckily you can.
Okay.
So I'm like, like question redo. And then they're quick to, because I think if a teacher also sees that you're making an effort to email them or communicate with them, they're more not lenient on your grade, but they're like, okay, this person actually cares.
There's a personal
so then when she tries, like I'll give her that extra 2 points, so, and I ask so many questions anyway, so I always email but yeah, I really, my heart was with kindergarten for so long. But now, as I'm observing in a 2nd grade classroom, I'm like, oh, I would love to teach the 2nd grade.
Were you doing kindergarten? Like observing in kindergarten?
I had observed kindergarten for a semester or so. I would pop in, to a kindergarten class. But each have something different to offer, But I think 2nd and 3rd grade is really the nitty gritty, like time and, like writing multiple sentences as opposed to just words. But nonetheless, like both are, levels of a child's life. So whatever position I always say is available, whether that's K through 5, when the time is right, then I'll be more than lucky.
Do you think you always want to teach little guys?
I think so.
Really?
I do.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do find myself talking to the little guys like as I would like a 7th grader.
Yeah.
More like it's just that's just my personality. I'm like, guys, like, come on, or whatever.
Do they love you?
They do.
I feel like they would
Every
love you so
time.
much.
I would go by because I substituted for an entire week in the same classroom not too long ago, a few months ago, and now every time I'm at the same school, they're like, Miss Rena, and like the entire class, like they'll stop what they're doing and they'll run like around my waist and like it's just this giant like class group hug.
They pick you up like a bat mitzvah. You're just in your chair, like.
It's so rewarding, and the fact that was only 4 days.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do fear, like, okay, like I was super fun, for this 4 days, but when I'm someone's homeroom teacher for an entire 9 months, I always feared someone getting bored of me.
Really?
Or not being fun enough, or because there's gonna be days, just like with any career in life, like that you're not
bubbly.
Bubbly, and that more so comes naturally to me, but that's also my fear, like, okay, like you love me now, but when you're with me the entire year, will I be as
and when there's discipline
and that's I cannot.
Have you had to?
I cannot say no.
Really?
Because growing are you like a sensitive guy?
Now more so, yes. After having kids, I became a lot more sensitive.
After having kids, because you take their feelings into account.
I don't know. You just like you love things, right? Like now you love your parents and you love your sister, and then like once you create something and then you actually have something to put all your love into, the world got a lot scarier for me.
Yep.
I stopped doing stuff that I was doing my whole entire life. It was one of the biggest reasons why I got out of like the gang stuff and the drugs. And I was just like, dude, I got to go home. Like I can't be out here in the streets dying.
Yep.
I got to go. You know what I mean? I got to go home.
Don't mean to laugh, but seriously.
But it's true,
it's true.
And a lot of people don't get out of that mentality. They just
Ever.
keep fucking around, and then they suffer the natural consequences, and now you got kids without a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I've always been sensitive as far as like the way people say things, not what people say, but the way people say things. So for example, like if a child is talking a lot to their friend while I'm also talking, instead of so and so stop talking, I'll do the silent mechanism. I'll go over and I'll keep saying what I'm saying, but I'll make my way to their desk and put a hand on their shoulder.
Gotcha.
Right? And then that's kind of like warning one. And then I'll go back, and then the next time I'll stop talking completely
Yeah.
Make the eye contact and then, keep going. And then, third or fourth time, then that's where I'll pull you aside silently. But I've always been, I'm not about that humiliation. Like, so-and-so, stop doing this. Because even at the end of the day, you're a child and you're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
That's how children, if a child didn't act like that, I'd be, concerned. Talkative, playful, silly. Like, that's how you should be as a child. So I think we have to put ourselves in a child's shoes. And oftentimes I see adults in this field that I'm like, why are you, do you even like children?
Right.
And I think we have to go there. It's like, we're just big kids.
Yeah.
That's all we are.
Yeah.
So it's like, as frustrating as it gets, because our brains are more developed. And now we know how to act in the workplace in this, but you gotta find that.
I was such a shit student though, dude.
Really?
Yeah, because I had a bad home life. So like,
what were your disciplining strategies in school?
I would have loved for any of my teachers to come and put a hand on me and be sensitive and gentle like that.
At least first.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
So that was crazy to me that you just said, like, hold on, let me finish my thought. So I was such a shit student and I had such a bad home life that I didn't differentiate home from school. So to me, going to school was just my friends. I didn't care about learning. I got to see people and I got to get away from this.
Yeah.
This was like a break. You know what I mean? So like I only went to school to have fun because over here I wasn't having fun.
Like you weren't.
I was scared over here.
You were rebelling in school? Would you say rebelling, or is that kind of strong?
I don't know. Maybe I was always big too. So maybe that was like intimidating because people have a hard time. I don't know. Just, I guess, seeing the difference between someone who's young and somebody who looks like they might be older. Yes. You know what I mean? So like when I was 7, I looked 12, and I was being mean, I guess. Yeah. But that's because that's what I knew at home, Nobody was gentle with me. And you know how kids are like, kids will fuck up in school and they'll be like, oh, my teacher doesn't like me. My teachers really didn't like me. Really? Like for real. I remember in the 4th grade, I had this teacher, her name was Miss Love. She got her boyfriend to come to the school and like threaten me.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Straight up.
And this wasn't even that long ago. You're in your early 30s.
Mm-hmm. So like I was always having issues, and like once I got into middle school and high school, that's when I started selling drugs in class. I was smoking weed in class, rolling up in class, like just doing bad. I never had I had one teacher, and her name is Miss McClanahan, and she watches the show, and she was my English teacher.
Hey.
Yeah, Peoria Accelerated High School, and she was the only teacher that never gave up on me. She was the only teacher that disciplined me with love because I needed to be disciplined.
Yeah.
I was fighting, I was doing drugs, I was selling drugs, I was being bad, But she saw something in me that knew like I'm going through something else in my home life.
What your actions are an effect.
It's a reaction.
It's a reaction. Yes,
yeah,
good word.
Yeah. So she was great to me. She was great to me, and I spent a lot of time with her. And we would like, I hope she doesn't get in trouble for this. She's not even in that school district anymore. But like, we would sit in class, and nobody would be in there, and we'd show each other our tattoos, and we would just talk about normal stuff. She treated me normal.
Yes.
Yeah. But there were times where like, I remember one time I was going to get into a fight in her classroom, and I ended up flipping the desk, and I was about to throw the chair at this dude, and she was like, she just yelled my name, and when she yelled my name, I can see the hurt.
Yeah.
She was bummed out. Yep. And I had hurt her feelings, and I put the chair down, and she's like, you need to go to the office. And I was like, I know. And I left. Yeah. But like teachers have such a huge impact on your life, negative and positive.
Yep. Because you're more likely to, like you said, that you could see disappointment in her eyes. Mm-hmm. You're more likely to care about that. Say you saw disappointment in a teacher's eyes that you didn't really like.
Yeah.
It would be like, I'm going to throw this chair.
Yeah.
But you were so inclined to not throw that chair because of your love and respect for her.
I've got into it with teachers before. Physically.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, dude.
Wow.
I was a bad student. I was a bad person.
Did you see that amongst your peers, or was that you, like the rolling weed in class and all of that? Did you start that, or did you see like other peers doing the same sort of thing?
I went to a continuation school where it seemed like the criteria to get in, you either had to have a baby, be on an ankle bracelet, or have a felony.
Wow.
Like, we went to the school for rejects. We went to, like, they closed the schools during the day while we were in there and had sheriffs walking around with, like, guns and shit.
You did that for all, like, primary school?
No, I got suspended and expelled from so many different schools. Plus, I moved around a lot. So I was never in a place longer than a year or two.
Because of just your behavior.
Either getting in trouble or moving states, or like we moved a lot, you know. And one year my mom, I was getting in so many fights. It was like half the school year and I had been in like 20 different fights. And my mom pulled me out of school entirely and was like, you're going to do online school. And she'd signed me up, and this was still relatively new. It wasn't homeschooling. It was online. You had to like log in and go to a class and do homework and this and that.
You still had to go, but it was just
you
on
still
the
had to
computer.
go. And then they sent you a laptop and they did all that stuff. Well, I downloaded music on that laptop, and I told this story before. I taped my mouse to an oscillating fan just to keep my computer alive. And I'd take the bus to like the YMCA and go to the gym for like 3 hours a day.
Really?
I got all Fs. It was completely school year wasted. It was so bad.
Wow.
It was so bad.
Do you think now, like, academically, like, you're fine with, like, equations and all of that?
No.
No?
No.
And do you
I'm
think this is
street
why?
smart. I'm not book smart.
Not book smart.
I'm jealous that you're such a good... I can't even take notes.
But here's the thing, Garrett. I'm not street smart.
I think you're one or the other.
Yes.
I think you are one
Just like
or the
we were
other.
talking about in the beginning, like how you're either handy or techie. Like,
Correct.
I feel like you're either street or book.
Yeah. I'm total like... I can survive anywhere but a classroom. It's bad.
That's so fascinating to
Really?
me. Yeah, just because that's my mind. And I think that's why I want to go back to the classroom. People are like, Rena, you spent 12 years in the classroom and now you want to spend the rest of your life in the classroom.
Yeah.
Because Garrett, I truly see myself doing this like for my entire life. Like,
You love it.
I love it, but I haven't had my first school year yet.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I fear that these feelings will change, but I doubt it.
Is being a school teacher, is it unfair?
As far as what, like, pay goes?
I heard teachers don't get paid very well.
They don't get paid very well, but I think that's why your heart has to be in it.
Well, and you put a lot of your own money into it when you're a teacher, right? Like, you buy your supplies. And
Yeah, I know, like, at the beginning of the year, like, certain things, like paper towels and stuff, like,
Tissues,
you send that to
pencils.
parents. And a lot of things you ask parents,
Okay.
you know, to buy, or you have a school supply list at the beginning, and that's what kids can bring. But as far as, because that's going to run out, you know, eventually. So as far as throughout the school year goes, I wouldn't know, you know, how that goes on. I can really see myself, like, you know, I look at my savings now. I'm like, okay, third of this probably for my classroom.
A third?
You know? I don't know. I mean, I'm over the years, I'm sure, but that's how much I just want it to, I just want to be great.
Yeah.
I just want to be a great teacher.
Yeah.
And I'm the type of person who will just not stop at all costs for something that she wants.
Do you want to be
know?
a great teacher for you to prove that you are a great teacher, or do you want to make a difference in children's lives?
Definitely the difference, more like that 80%, and then 20% probably for me to prove, like, Rena, you can do this. Because even looking at the workload, right, like certain grade levels are compartmentalized. So sometimes you're just teaching science all day long, and you'll have 4 rotations of science, and you'll teach the same thing. Other, like the younger grades, typically you teach all subjects, science, history, math, language arts, writing, you know, all of that. And that is what I see as tough. You know, because you have to plan for every subject every day. Whereas as far as when you're more compartmentalized, you have to plan for, you know, 1 subject per day, you know? So in a sense, I'm like, oh, this might be a little, you know, tough. And I do want to prove myself, you know, that I can do that. I can plan for X amount of subjects. You can make it fun. But I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was saying, like, school, sometimes it's just going to be boring. And that kids are just going to have to understand how to be bored. Yeah. You know, because you think, you like the workplace or wherever, you can't be in. Some days it's completely silent. You know, you can't always work with a buddy. Right. You know, so it's those types of things. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm going to be fun, Miss Rena. Yeah.
And then, like, so when the hand on the shoulder thing and that kind of, like, what kind of skill is that? What would you call that?
what's the word?
Classroom
there's the
management?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Behavioral management.
Behavioral management.
Classroom management.
Where did you learn that? Or was it things that you picked up throughout your school experiences?
I've picked that up, yeah, and then a few of my courses have taught me about that so
they
far.
do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, some are about like a subject. Like right now I have a phonics class, all just about how to teach children to read, which is a process in itself. It's right. I'm kind of going down this tangent. Like, think about the alphabet, right? We got to learn the alphabet. We got to learn what the letters look like, as well as what each letter sounds like, as well as multiple sounds that letters can make. A can say ah, eh, a, you know, that. Then we have to learn how to put the sounds together, what the sounds look like together, silent sounds. Then we have to learn how to delete sounds, right? If I give you the word cat and I say replace the C with a p, you have to know how to do that. You have to know how to manipulate sounds, right? And then you have to learn how to see the sounds in sentences, write the sounds, know what the words mean. Like, there are so many steps that you and I just wake up and know how to do.
But we did that.
But we did, and you know, a lot, I don't remember.
You don't?
Certain things that I'm watching now, I don't quite remember doing, but they just kind of, came to me.
Yeah.
Over the years, but a lot in the classroom now, it's so much more thorough, which is great. And I can just really see myself being able to teach that.
I can remember a lot of things that I liked about school, but it was never like a subject. It was always like, I don't know why I have this stuck in my mind, but you walked in and there was the little shoe racks with the plastic compartments that you can put on the back of a door?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The little cubbies, the little pockets?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my teacher for the whole year would come in and we would take a popsicle stick. And that one popsicle stick equals one day.
Okay.
And then we would group those days into weeks. So once you got in one pocket, it was individual sticks. And then once you had a week, you would take 7 sticks or 5 sticks, right? Because it was 5 days a week.
Yep.
You would take 5 sticks and put a rubber band around it and move that into the next slot.
Oh.
And then you would, once you got to a month, so 4 of those bundles, you'd wrap that around and put it into the next slot. And so we could see how many days we were doing, but we all would gather around the door as a class, and one person, the special person of the day, got to do all the stuff. Yeah. So the teacher would pick one special person of the day. They would be able to move the popsicle stick. They're the ones who opened up the curtains. They're the ones who got the chalkboards ready. They're the ones who, so they had like a job. They did all the special buddy stuff for the day. Yeah. And like, when we take a test or when we're doing homework or classwork, you're the one who goes around and gives everybody their paper, and like you're the special buddy for the day. You're the line leader. You all this and all that and all this. And
see,
all that.
things like this that I hear or see, I just want to immediately put it in my notes.
Yeah.
And that's my, I guess, toxic trait. I am so eager to incorporate everything. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw this on Pinterest. I saw so-and-so do this. So-and-so did this like years ago. Like, I need to do it all. But again, I don't want to overwhelm myself or, and I'm great at getting overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm great.
But that's because you want to be great.
Yeah.
What else do I remember? I have weird
see, you do, so school had some sort of impact because you enjoyed that activity with the door.
It was special to me. Yeah. It was special.
Is it because you're like, I'm ready for this to be over?
No, I genuinely
Let's get to the bottom of the cubby already. Wrap it up, bundle it up, let's
Remember
go.
cubbies? Oh, I haven't said cubby in forever. You had your own name and you could decorate it, and like that was the stuff that I liked. I had fun teachers, but I always fucked it up, and
but
they
do
ended
you
up
think,
not liking me.
Because like your parents, right? Like, were they very, I guess, strict on you to the point where you're like, I gotta get out of here.
No,
like, I gotta go. So it wasn't like
they didn't give a shit.
Super strict at home. Because some kids that are just so, what's the word? Like just parented, I guess. Overly parented. Act a fool at school. Yeah. But it wasn't like that.
I don't think so. I did my best schooling. So like I would actually do my homework. See, my thing is I would do the homework and not turn it in.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you'd still do it.
But I'd still do it.
Why?
I don't know. I just never followed through anything. But I was the best student in the times where my dad was like in jail. You know what I mean? So like I would really struggle, and you can see my grades go down when my dad was home.
What years of your life was that? He was
Forever,
away?
birth to like 16.
Oh.
Yeah.
That he was in jail.
Always in and out. Yeah, always in and out. And when he was in jail, I would do good because there wouldn't be threats at home, and it wouldn't be as scary, and I can kind of relax a little bit and breathe. And then he'd get home, and it would just tank.
I have a question. Do you think, like, you say you finished your homework and you wouldn't turn it in, right? Do you think part of you didn't want to turn it in because you didn't want yourself to be associated with actually a good student? Did you think that you had your I guess easel was already painted as Garrett the bad kid? So when Garrett the bad kid turns in his work, like
my reputation.
Your reputation would be
maybe
not that. It was just
maybe
a theory.
But maybe because that's the best theory that I have, because I don't know why. I just figured I just did.
Because you did it, and do you think when you finished it, like, you were probably right?
And when I did it, I would get A's.
Yeah. You know, maybe you didn't want to be looked at as soft, or
maybe
you're like, I'm the big guy here. Like, you rule the school, but it's like, no, I don't do my work.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
There was definitely time. Like,
know?
I am ashamed to say this. I peaked in my coolness in high school for sure.
You were the coolest?
I was the coolest.
Dang,
I was the guy.
Reached that yet. I wonder when I'll get there.
You'll still get to be the coolest in school. Like, you will be the coolest.
When I'm, and the roles are switched.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was the guy. At one point, I prided myself on being the toughest and the scariest guy. It was on site. Like,
you enjoyed that feeling.
I enjoyed it. I felt powerful. I loved it. Like I was fighting every day.
Were you like a bully? Or you just knew that if someone picked on you, you're like, absolutely not. But you didn't go looking for trouble.
I did, but I wanted the guys that thought they were tough.
Yeah, but you wouldn't just go pick on some smaller kid. For
No.
Yeah.
Bully in that sense, no.
No.
That's
a bully. Yeah.
Yeah, but I antagonized and I called out the guys that thought they were tough, because I'm like, fuck you, I'm way tougher than you.
I'm tougher. And I don't turn in my work. Yeah.
Now what? Yeah, I got a backpack full of homework.
No, it's on.
No, dude,
it's just a theory. Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the best way that I've had it put to me. So maybe.
Yeah.
What can I do about it now, though?
No, yeah, again. Nothing.
My kids are great students. So Wyatt, he's my youngest boy. He's 7. And next year he got invited to go into the gifted class because he's just doing that well. They both did.
Wow.
They both did.
Wow.
Trent's 10 and Wyatt's 7, and they both got invited to go to the gifted class. And I told them, I was like, look, dude, I am so unbelievably proud of you. You are a better student now than I've ever been in my whole life. I love you. I want the best for you, and I want you to work hard so that you don't have to work like me and have the jobs that I have to have, and you can have a different future, because a good father wants their kids to grow up and be better than they were. But I did tell them, I was like, look, dude, next year when you're in that special class, if you're not having fun and if you don't enjoy it, you don't need to be in it. I want you to be a kid.
Will that be their entire school year?
Yeah.
Or just one subject?
No.
Is there a subject that they're both especially good at, or they're just gifted in almost every aspect of
Trent
school?
is fantastic at math. And Wyatt is fantastic in critical thinking.
But they can hang with the entire school day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Trent talks. He's a social butterfly. He gets that from me. He wants to talk and be goofy and have fun and be the class clown.
Yeah.
Wyatt is smart.
Yeah.
Unbelievably smart.
Wow.
Like putting together and taking apart those little metal puzzles and stuff. You know the metal rings that, like, you have to move them a certain way and they come apart easily.
Okay.
Or the wooden block puzzles that you like move things around. Like, he loves those.
Wow.
And I'm not good at those.
Will they be with older children?
They're going to be with kids. They're all going to be in the same age group.
Oh.
And you have to be invited into this class. So it's like a classroom of the elites, I guess. You know what I mean? But I don't want him to. I want him to have fun and run and play, and like I know that there's kids in there that are taking their school career seriously, and it's like, dude, you're 7.
Yeah. Well, it's their parents that are taking their school
Correct.
seriously.
But
But kids don't know.
What
any
good
better
is a
for
classroom if you can't laugh?
Here's the thing. And I think there's a clear distinction between, that's why I think some parents hesitate moving their kids, or if they should hold their kids back. Like, say you're 4 and you're like, ooh, like, should they go to, if their birthday's at a weird month of the year, Because developmentally wise, I really think we all develop on the relatively, similar. And I think, for even if you're crazy smart, I think it's still important to develop with, children of your same age group. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
but like at recess, if you don't go and play and you just go to the library and read, like that's cool.
Yeah.
But like, scrape your knee a little bit. You know what I mean? Get some dirt on your hands, play around, be a little boy, be a little girl. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
I worry that I don't want them to ever have pressure to be something that they think they need to be for me.
Yeah.
So I don't want them to find their identity in being a great student. And like, if I get a B or if I get a C, dad's going to be mad. No, dude.
Circling back to what your dad point, like you said, you as a father, you always want your children or your sons to be a better, did you say person than you were, or just father than you?
So for me, I have boys. I want my boys to be better men than I am.
What if you had, I know like your perception on this is a little different, but what if you think like, I'm a great man? Do you still want your children to be better?
Of course.
Or do you think you want your children to be like you? Wanting
your kids to be great men makes you a great man.
But greater than you?
You want that. Why? Like, of course.
What if you're already like stinking great?
Well, I mean, you always got to pass the torch. You always want to be passing the torch. You always want to feel like you did your job correctly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to raise little gangbangers. I don't want them to be 20 years from now telling somebody that they used to roll weed in class. You know what I mean? I don't want that for them.
Yeah.
And I'm living a life now that they'll never have to experience that. They'll never want to.
Yeah.
They might dabble in it. Most kids get into alcohol or drugs at a certain age or whatever, but like their home life is not scary, so they don't need to run away to anything.
Yeah.
So was that the question that you were going to ask, or because you brought up my dad?
Yeah, well, because you had said you want your kids to be a better, I guess, person or dad than you were.
Right.
Or I guess a better, I don't know what word you use, a better dad than you. You want your kids to grow up to be a better man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because I have boys.
What if your whole, what if you didn't have this background and you were a great guy, a few years ago? Like, would you say, I want my kids to grow up to be like I was? I guess my question is it always better? You want them to be better? Or like, what if you were already content with who you were? Does that make sense?
Again, I think that just goes back to the love that you have for your own children is you just want them to, like, for me, the sky is the limit. I don't want the limit to be the sky for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a limit. Yeah.
I want them to go. I want them to be great. Yeah. They don't need to chase my shadow. Uh-huh. I just want them to be great, and I want them to be fulfilled and successful and happy. Mm-hmm. Whatever that looks like. There's no scale. There's no grading scale on like, I'm a 10, so you need to be a 10. Yeah. I just want you to do your best.
So when it goes to helping them like with schoolwork and stuff, because you feel like you weren't, you didn't pay much attention to that. Do you struggle with that? Or
Absolutely.
Or are you fine with helping them?
I try my best.
Do that. Yeah.
I try my best, but there's already, like, Trent can already do math that I can't do.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And he's 10.
And he's 10.
Whoa.
But he's
what
great.
What are you doing, like YMX plus B sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
At 10?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, he's... dude, I never even learned how to write in cursive. Mm. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure like back in my day when I was in class, I think we spent like 2 or 3 months on that, on just cursive.
It didn't stick, yeah.
Mm-mm. I can write my name barely. I can write I can sign my signature. G. Olson. That's all I got in me. Mm-hmm. I got...
Every other letter you like...
or even like...
regular manuscript.
When you were in school, did you have computer class?
That was until high school. Yeah. Freshman and sophomore year, we had, what was the name of the course? It was like, this wasn't even that long ago. It was CCP, College and Career Prep. And we would there was this app called Typing Club. Mm-hmm. And you would like race. It was like a little racetrack game. And you had to type things really fast and go around. But I still to this day don't use my pinkies.
Okay.
I just use these guys up here.
I use these 5.
I have a far feet. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thumbs.
I discriminate against the fingers.
The thumbs are only for the space bar. So really, I only type with these.
Yeah.
And I'm fast, but I have to look.
Yeah.
But I can. But that's all I got.
Good for you.
That's all I got.
I'm a great texter.
Oh,
I can use my thumbs all day over
Do you
there.
swipe? I swipe text where I don't lift up my finger. You know what I'm talking about?
You just like trail from letter to letter?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do such a thing.
Yeah, you just.
No, I don't think I could do that.
It's faster for me.
Wow. But again, you could do anything. I just don't, I have not learned how to do
Were
that.
you around when you had to do T9 texting?
No.
Do you even know what that is?
Nope.
You don't know what T9 is?
T9? Like
Yeah.
the letter T and the number 9?
Yes. T-9. You don't know what
T9?
that is? Okay. So like on a cell phone, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0.
0 at the very bottom.
0 at the very bottom.
Okay.
And then each number had 3 or 4 letters attached to that number.
Like when you go to dial.
Like when you go to dial.
Okay.
But when you text back in the day, you would have to hit 333 44 1 333 2 444 7 3 9 9.
You'd have to like go through the selection under the number.
Yes.
If you
So if you wanted a T, you needed to hit 4 3 times.
Because the T was the third letter.
Because the T was the third letter of the 4th number.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was like a phone?
That's how you texted back
That's how
in
you
the day. It was
texted.
T9.
Wow.
So like now you can just hit the letters. I was faster at T9 than I am at this, but I got to the point where I could just text without looking.
Yeah. I would just give up on my text would be so dry.
Well,
I would type like one word. I'm like,
that's
I'm over
why
this.
how are you was coming into play, or
Like the letter
IDK, yeah, or
Oh.
ASL, age, sex, location, or like all those things, because it was just shorthanded text.
Whoa.
It was hard though.
No,
And so when you got into a text battle with somebody, you had to really mean what you were saying because you were going to be there a while.
Yeah. Your neck starts to hurt. You're like, oh, I gotta come up for air.
You had to mean it.
Dang.
Yeah, it was forever.
Huh.
And
no,
you never
I've
had to do that.
No. Mm-mm.
What's it? Speak to text a lot.
You know, I don't do that either.
You
Do
don't
you
do
have a
that?
watch? You
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to your watch?
No.
I see people talking to their watches all day long.
No, that's
and I
goofy
don't know.
toofies.
Yeah,
That's-
you think so?
No,
It's
that's-
like you're a spy.
Dude, you're not fucking James Bond, bro. Like,
I made it.
you go, yeah, dude. Like, how do I look talking like that? You know what I mean? Big old dude talking to this little square.
Like, what is he talking
Yeah,
to? over
and
there?
it's covered with my shit, so I just look crazy. You know
No,
what
I don't talk to text either though.
No? Oh, like when I'm driving, that's my favorite thing to do.
No, I'm a pretty like my texts are like a good like decent size
Yeah.
too, but I just don't enjoy. And when I get my screen report back, screen time, it's like 4 hours and 27 minutes. I'm like, on what?
Yeah.
On what?
Yeah.
You know, but I think I have my phone open. Like when you have a YouTube video playing,
Mm-hmm.
does your screen time going?
I'd imagine anytime my phone is on, my screen time.
Because I'm not using it. Or a timer, right? If my timer is face up, right? It's like that counts. So like certain things don't count because half the time I'm
I see
getting
what you're
ready,
saying.
have a YouTube video in the back, and I'm not. But when my eyes are on the screen, I feel
You're not
like
sitting there scrolling, you're just listening.
this, like my eyes to the screen, I just feel like I'm missing everything else.
Really?
It's really like that's always been a really deep feeling. I almost feel like wrong, Rena, wrong. Like you're on your phone, you know, for whatever. Or even when I'll scroll and, you know, you watch a funny video and
Yeah.
you keep going, you're like, this one's even funnier. I'm like, oh my gosh, this one was kind of like the last. It just knows
Yeah.
and it gets.
I know that you were
Whack.
talking about like you don't like, or is it that you don't like technology or that it scares you where it's
No.
heading?
I mean, I have to like it, you know. It's
Yeah.
like it's with where we're going, but it scares me. Just
But-
it knows you so well.
But hasn't media always been that way? Now it's just on your phone. Weren't people just buried their face in newspapers back in the day, in the 60s and 70s?
But I think now, like, it's right. There's one newspaper for the whole town
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's Instagram feed looks different.
The whole world is on in the palm of your hand.
Everybody's. It's like having your own individual newspaper,
You're right.
right? It's like your feed is 100% catered to you, and people know this. I mean, but your Explore page, it's like a little bit of this. For me, it's a little bit of CrossFit, a little bit of baking ideas, a little bit of like just crazy, like funny stuff, a little bit of animal videos, and it's like, it's me, and it's it knows me. And my mom and I were talking about this, how it's starting to know you almost more than you know yourself.
That's crazy, huh?
It's
only because you have to interact with it.
But it's a drug. Interacting. Sometimes now I know exactly. I mean, picking up my phone and I have like a case with my hands fits exactly in, and I look for it and I look for that position.
There's studies showing that people's hands are changing.
No way.
Yeah, like my pinky
is farther out.
Is farther out because that's how I hold my phone. Like when you spread your hand, your pinky's a lot farther out.
That's so fascinating.
And it's just because that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I love technology. Like my feed is nothing but like powerlifting, gangsters, fights, autistic, and Down syndrome. Like that's my FYP. I just love it.
Yeah.
And it knows me.
And it feeds it to you.
And it gives me what I want. And it keeps me entertained. And I love it.
How long will you scroll for? Have you ever timed yourself?
No.
Do you ever get to
I'm
like the infinite abyss?
I don't even look at that screen time section of my phone.
Oh, can you be on your phone for like 2 hours at a time?
2? I can be on my phone for like 8 hours at a time.
No way.
I work a 12-hour shift.
Are you on your phone majority of the time?
A lot of times.
Oh, I thought you had to be sitting there like security like this.
I have to do my patrols. Luckily I have a partner and she sits with me and we hang out and we talk and like we're friends. Like it's like she's great and we just sit there and we hang out and we talk and we laugh and we joke and we play and it's just good times.
Yeah.
But like
sometimes you go on your phone.
You're in a truck.
Oh.
For 12 hours. And it's not that like, oh, we don't like each other or we're not friendly anymore or we're not, don't talk to me. You stay on your side. I'll stay on my side. It's just like, oh, we've been talking for 5 hours. I think I don't have anything else to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Let me recharge.
From your phone.
That's what we'll call it even.
Recharge.
I'll call it like, you want to recharge? Let's just pick up our phones.
Whereas this should be the recharge.
Right. Right.
Should be, but ideally.
Well, but there's no love lost. Like,
yeah.
Do you think, okay, me and you, no music, no phone, not on camera, nothing. Do you think that we could sit and keep up a conversation for 12 hours?
I think if we hadn't seen each other in a long time. But when you start to see each other, we
spend 60 hours a week together.
Yeah. Then it's just kind of, you know me. Yeah, I know you.
We talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, you know how I said like in the classroom, I fear being like boring.
Yeah.
I fear that too in like relationships or you know what I mean? Like significant others.
Yeah.
Who have friends. It's like, wow, like what if so-and-so gets bored of me? Because now it's like, you know me, that's why like the first introduction to someone or first meeting someone is so like knocks your socks off because you're like, wow, I'm learning so much about this brand new person. Then when you start to know someone, you're like, okay, now I know that. But again, I fear like one day it's just going to be like too boring for someone.
Do you get bored?
I never use that word.
Okay. What word would you use then? Do you get uninterested in your person? Like if you're in a relationship, do you get uninterested quickly? Be honest.
No. I guess I haven't been in one for that long. So
why would
too long? Because I don't know what it's like to be with someone for 5, let alone 2 years.
Why would they feel that way about you?
It's an insecurity.
You think so?
Probably.
Do you think you're boring?
I've been told that I'm boring.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been told that I ask too many questions. I've been told that I'm boring. Yeah.
You know what I was just told about you 2 days ago?
What?
That you are what every little girl strives to be when they're a fully healed and loving woman.
Oh.
That's what I got told about you. That you are goals.
Oh.
Especially with the loving affirmations to yourself and taking care of yourself properly and giving yourself the time to really feel and acknowledge what you're going through.
Yeah.
I have been told specifically that you are what women should strive to be.
Oh my God.
You are a healed version of every woman. That's what I was told.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was really cool because I was like, you know what? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Do you recognize that in yourself?
Not yet, know, because some days I feel like I'm still not healing from something necessarily, but still finding my way.
Really?
Some days I feel lost.
Yeah.
But then I get to remind myself, so much, you're not lost. I really think we have all of life's answers.
Really?
I do. I think deep down in a situation, again, kind of bring it back to like relationships. It's like, is this guy good for me? Is so-and-so, you know the answer.
Really?
Sometimes you just don't want to face the answer.
You don't like the answer.
You don't like it. You don't want to be one with the answer because you don't.
And you want
like
what
it.
you want.
You want what you want. But I think deep down, we know the answer.
Yeah.
Really. So, but that, oh my gosh, that brings me tears.
Well,
That
it's
is
really
the
cool.
Sweetest compliment.
It's really cool. It's really, really
and that
cool.
makes me want to be more, just believe in myself more.
Yeah.
Just hearing that.
Yeah.
You know?
People love you.
Oh,
You are a fan favorite for sure.
guys,
Yeah.
oh
No, it's really cool. It's
man.
really cool. And it makes me, remember how I told you, like, sometimes I'll have that realization, like, you're here doing your own thing. I'm here doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And we're deciding to still spend time with each other. So
Yes.
it means more to me.
You're like literally one weekend day.
Right.
At least this weekend.
Right.
You're going to work.
Right. And I just feel when somebody gives such a high compliment to you, I feel honored because I'm like, yeah, but you only got to watch her. I got to hang out with her. You know what I mean?
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, dude, we kicked it. Like, I hugged her. You know what I mean? So that's fun for me. And it brings up a lot of questions when people do compliment you because, I mean, we're friends, but I try not to pry too much in like a regular personal life.
Okay.
I do have a question for you, and I've had a question for a long time.
Okay.
And we can totally cut this out.
Oh, yeah.
So now I don't care about the cameras right
Okay.
now. I'm just talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are your parents together?
My parents aren't together. Mm-mm.
They're not?
No. They got divorced, I think almost 2 years ago.
2 years
A
ago.
little over. Yeah, I think it's coming up on 2 years. They're not together. And I always say, like, it's sometimes people just aren't meant to be together anymore.
Are you okay with talking about this?
Yeah,
Oh,
and that is okay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's to grow out of each other. Again, it's a fear of mine.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just for the best.
Really?
As blunt as that sounds, like, yeah.
How did that affect you?
It didn't I think because I wasn't young, you know, I wasn't like, 5 or 6 where it's like, oh my gosh, my parents, like, you're so confused,
Yeah.
you know? But I think seeing how a relationship just doesn't flow anymore, you almost feel a sense of relief when, that feeling is, over because you always have a choice, right? You choose to spend your life with someone. And if that's not serving you anymore, then you can choose to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I think I've seen them both grow individually, like, apart, and they find different interests now. Like my dad, like, flies a drone, like he does like drone flying. And my mom, she's so into like herself and her well-being. And just, I see different things from them both.
Do they seem happier?
Happier. They both seem happy. Well, they were happy in the beginning together, and now they're happy, apart. So, and it's just, I'm all for it if that's what that means.
Yeah. Do they still love each other?
I think at the end of the day,
Yeah.
they'll be there for one another. Do they talk every day? No.
Yeah.
But they're on a civil.
Can you guys all
basis.
sit down and go to dinner?
Like for my birthday, like we all had dinner together, the 4 of us,
And
my
there was
mom, dad,
no-
sister, and I.
Did they talk?
Yeah, they talk.
Are they friends?
They're
Friendly?
they'll reach out. They're friendly.
Yeah.
They'll reach out to each other, not just to say, "Hey, what's up?" But if he has a question for her about, gardening or the yard, like what do I do to this plant? Because where he lives now, it's like where we all used to live. So my mom did a lot of the yard work. He'll call her, or if my mom has a question. My dad's a really good writer, so if she needs, kind of help, how do I format this or this and that? She'll ask him that, and they're not. Why are you asking me this? We're not together.
Yeah.
Like they're fine with giving each other that. They'll say, okay, like, good talking to you. Bye.
And you and your sister are okay with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. We're good.
Really?
And I think, yeah. And I have to let that not be, I can't let that be like a reason for me to say, oh, well, see, this is why I don't want to get married. Like, cause
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
always like that.
Sure.
It does work. It can, but
Well,
that's
and
why
I'm
you
of
have
the
to just
mindset
be
that,
careful.
like, Yeah, exactly. But nobody gets married or has kids with somebody hoping you're not going to be together one
You don't
day.
plan for that.
You don't want that.
It's just, yeah.
But people grow apart,
They grow
and
apart.
it just,
Yeah.
it's sad.
Yeah. And I think it would have been unfair to both of them just to stick it through, wait until the girls are, of college age just to spare them. No, whether we were 10, like I think it would have been, because even after, I always tell, are we okay on time? Because it's a little bit of a rampage.
No, this is the best conversation that I've had. I really want this.
I think at a certain time you have to, like I said, 10 or 11 or I forgot again.
No, that's okay.
I forgot. No,
okay.
It was right there.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
You might have to cut this out.
No, dude.
Damn it, Garrett. I shouldn't have asked about the time because that ruined me.
No, you're good.
I have to go take a walk.
I have so
to
many
remember.
thoughts on this, though. You were saying whether you're of college age or whether you're 10 or whether you're 7.
Whether you're college age, whether you're 10. Oh, okay. It's back. You are... I tell my mom, like I talk about motherhood often, but right now at 21 years old, I do not want any children. I don't want to become a mother. I don't see that.
Okay.
You know? Right now.
Right now.
And ask me in 15 years, maybe. My eggs will still be good.
Yeah.
At 36.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my time won't be up. But it is person first and then whatever else. Right? So I see my mom as my mom. Right? I'm like, I say my mom, this is my mom. But if the roles were, if I put myself into her shoes, she is April, right? She is not, she's April 1st. She's not Rena's mom.
An individual.
Right? She is her. So whether and I think I watch movies and all of this, like your kids have to come first 99% of the time or whatever, which is that your kids, you had children to, protect one, to take care of one, right? But you have to, that's why I love seeing my mom do things that she wants to do. She loves going like to Target or to get her Chipotle bowl. And, not necessarily with me. I never want her to think that we just, we live together, but I don't want her to think that we have to do everything together because she is still who she was before she had my sister and I. You still are, you are still a individual, you're not a caregiver. Is it caregiver or caretaker? Caregiver first, right? Like I'm a priority. Your children are a priority, but you have to put you,
because you can't take care of anybody if you don't take care of yourself.
No. And I would always tell her about, like, when we would have these conversations about motherhood, I'm like, wow, Mom, like when you decided to have kids, you knew your life would change literally forever. Your life would never ever be the same. And you were willing to take that, twice. Yeah. You were willing to do that. You were willing to change your one life forever. Right? And then I almost, not that that's a burden on me, but in a way I'm like, wow, like she made the ultimate, she sacrificed her life, the way her life, I'm so big on routine. She changed her entire routine so that she could, bring 2 more children to the world. So then as far as the divorce goes, right? It's like running it by your kids. Well, what do you think? Like, oh, well, Dad, what do you, like, you have to decide because it is your life and you are you. Yeah. Right? So that's kind of my little tangent on that.
Do you think,
whole thing.
Do you ever feel like upset that they couldn't make it work?
Because it wouldn't have been true. Right? You would have been forcing something that wasn't, you can change the way, I always say, like, you can change the way that you respond to your emotions, but you can't change your emotions. Yeah. Your emotions just come and you don't ask for them, you know? So if your emotions are, I don't see myself with this man, or I don't see myself with this woman anymore because my emotions have changed. There's nothing you can do.
It doesn't mean you hate that person.
And if you try to bury that and mask that for the rest of your life, imagine that discomfort.
It's sad.
And you just like loosening a belt, right? Yeah. Like you just don't wear the belt. Yeah. Like don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah. Have you ever talked to them one-on-one and asked them, like, do they ever show remorse or regret about the decision? Like, maybe we could have made it work.
No, not really. They mention, each other, but not in a sense where it's like, I miss them, so-and-so, or, if only this, or I'm trying to get so-and-so back.
Yeah.
And
how about them? Have either one of them been in a relationship since?
I don't believe so.
Or do you know if they're seeing anybody or dating?
I don't.
Would that bug you?
I don't believe so.
Really?
I would, no, because now that I think of the older I get, the more I'm just, again, you're two people that happen to be married, two people that happen to have kids together, and you're two people that can, be done with a relationship and then find love somewhere else. Wow. Just like anybody else. I have to take that lens off of like, no, not my parents, but anybody else can, like my parents are one with everybody else. People. Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you learn this kind of thinking?
Like perception? I just think like you, like when I had asked you, where did you learn like, all your knowledge about, this type of thing? I guess I really just try to put myself in other people's shoes, because it's not fair just to have one lens.
Are you ever worried that it's like a defense mechanism or like some sort of self-soothing to train yourself to just be okay with things and accept them?
I think in a way,
yeah.
I think I had told you about my book last time or a few times ago, Loving What Is by Byron Katie.
I don't remember.
Loving What Is by Byron Katie, and it just teaches you that you cannot change what is, right? Whatever is, yeah. You can't. You have to. You know how people say like it is what it is. I think I mentioned this in a previous episode.
You might have.
Yeah,
it's done a lot of drugs, Rena.
You just got.
I've done a lot of drugs.
When you come to terms with what is and you just stop trying to change reality, you just find a lot more peace. Peace. And just with friendships, relationships, whatever, trying to be like, oh, if he could just compliment me more, if he could just do this, but that's not who he is at his roots. This is what is. You either deal with it or you end it. But it's never anybody else's fault, right? Because you always have a choice with who you want to be with, who you want to be surrounded by. So you have the choice to leave, always, or at least in this country.
Is that book aimed towards women or just people?
Just people. Yeah, because in the book there's small little there's sections of individual stories.
Okay.
Of Byron Katie, which is the author and the interviewer, and she interviews different just people, just regular people, and it's each few pages is each person's kind of.
So it's a bunch of stories.
Yeah, it's a bunch of stories, and how she helps them find the healing in this is what is. You have to love, and not only do you have to accept what is, you have to love what is.
What if you don't? You have to.
You find a way. You find a way to love it.
That's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know, like, I'm not a mentally strong person, and I'm very sensitive, and I'm very fragile. And it's hard for me to comprehend forever change because it's scary.
Yeah.
And I am worried. I'm always fearful of making the wrong decision based off of how I feel right now. Well, what if there's so many things in play that I can't see the big picture? What if I'm so solely focused on my own emotions and how something makes me feel? Is that important enough to make a big decision? Do you think?
You gotta wait.
You gotta wait.
You have to wait. Yeah. As far as how long to wait, there's no really telling. But that initial feeling, like I was talking about, I don't know if it was you or someone else, just after a meal, right? You feel so hungry afterwards.
Oh yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Or it's just you're ready for the next meal. Or sometimes I'll finish a meal and think, all right, like, what's for dinner? Or what snack can I have next? A few minutes later, you have to let that feeling of satisfaction from leptin, right, kick in. Same thing with emotions, right? Something just happened. You're furious, right? Yeah. You could practically feel smoke. You feel like your temples are sweaty. That is a temporary feeling.
Yeah.
And that is, it's a safety response, right? It's a natural response from your body.
Yeah.
But that your mind is not in a rational place to make decisions at that at that state.
Do you think, okay, but what if that lasts for years?
That fury?
Not fury, that
Just unknowing.
Not even unknowing, but like you said, your parents would have stayed together forcing it. I'm still speaking on divorce specifically.
Okay.
Or loving somebody.
Yeah.
What if you're just, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I think that can have potential to turn into resentment very quickly. And then you feel an obligation to stay with somebody because you have kids, because you've built a life, because you whatever it is, you own a home together, you own whatever. Is there a right time to make that big decision, or do sometimes you just have to feel it, know it, and jump into the deep end?
I see.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, because like I know I saw when my mom and my dad, when the connection started to change.
Yeah.
Right, but it took a good year.
Yeah.
Or so for them to stop living together. Right, so maybe that year is kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of, I know I want out, but I can't get out like right now.
And you're comfortable too, right? You've established a safety net.
It definitely depends on the situation, right? Because nothing in my home was physically, abusive.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
In those certain situations, you got to get out quick, right?
Absolutely,
but
you have no choice.
Yeah,
that's different circumstances.
Yeah, but in this type of circumstance, I think, I mean, if you again, like we just know the right answer sometimes. That feeling that you get. I'm really into it with like feelings. Like sometimes I feel like I can like predict, as crazy as it sounds.
No, I got you.
The feeling, right?
Sure.
When you feel like I got to get out.
Yeah.
Like this isn't for me. I can't explain necessarily why right now.
Yeah.
But I have to. If something's telling me that I have to.
Yeah.
Then by all means, and then figure that out, or not even try to figure it out. That answer will come later. Does that make sense?
But what if the right thing to do is going to hurt so bad?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. You just I truly believe that we are not put in any situation that we can't handle.
Sure.
Yeah. Our creation is just so immense.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So sometimes when that Band-Aid feels really, it hurts
Yeah.
to peel off, you're going to come out a better person on the
And time,
afterwards.
right? Time's going to heal it.
Yeah, because I always say I guess I always say a lot of things because I've started every sentence with I always say it's.
But that's so cool that you're grounded and rooted in what you always say.
But
you always say it.
I want to make sure though that I'm still open to new perceptions.
Sure.
Like my perception can definitely change. If you said something right now that I'm like, whoa, like I had a totally different viewpoint on that, but now that Garrett said it and he explained why, I'd be so willing, to change. It'd
have to
my
be
perception.
Pretty profound though to change your
certain things
core.
you have. Yeah. But you just gotta go. Mm-hmm. You have to just do what is gonna hurt, because at that beginning phase, at the very beginning, once you do something that hurts, whether again getting out of a relationship that's lasted a good amount of time, or cutting someone off, or stopping doing a hobby that you love,
even
or
getting a new job, right?
Getting a new job, it's gonna be scary and it's gonna hurt at first. But I always or I always feel that feeling cannot last forever.
Yeah.
It can't.
Yeah. And when you're going through that, do you rely on yourself to get you through it, or do you reach out to others? Like, what do you do?
I rely on me, because
you do.
I'll think to myself, this is the greatest love that I'll ever receive. Nobody is going to care about what I'm going through.
And you're the only one who's going to have you forever.
I'm always going to have me.
Yeah.
And then I get another quote I saw was like, you'd spend a lot of time in your body. It should be a good place to be. It needs to be make it a good place. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and I always, I'm just, you can come back here. You can always come back here. And I'll say Rena's got you.
Yeah.
I'll say that to Rena.
Yeah. You know how much I love you for just being able to communicate. You have always had such a way to take my crazy emotion and put it into good words and help me understand it. Mm-hmm. And I love that about you. Aww. And I think that's why I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
Is because
it's never crazy. It's
not,
just, no.
Sometimes I feel off the wall.
I think that's another, how people have told me I talk too much or whatever. Like calling someone crazy or hyper or weird, it's so offensive.
It's bad.
And it's not, that is
You know why it sucks?
Not crazy.
No, it sucks because I have to go out of my comfort zone to give you my emotions and feelings, and if it's not accepted and taken care of properly,
that stings like a biatch.
I feel bad.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just like, okay, I can't trust you.
And again, a part of the embarrassment. I think it all is one big wheel that just connects. I don't want to embarrass anybody, and nothing is. We all go through the same, things.
Yeah.
All of this, I can rationalize. It makes sense. I understand how you feel these ways. So to call it crazy would be. That's beyond me.
I should stop calling it crazy then.
It's not crazy.
Because it's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I want to ask you another question, and we can cut this out too.
Okay.
Are you religious at all?
No.
You're not.
I didn't grow up religious.
Okay.
I didn't grow up like a Christian or whatever, but a few years back, I was in a tough spot just with fitness and loving my body, and I had a friend of, a group of girlfriends that they gave me a give it to God little. It was a small little tin, and you'd open it and there'd be a bunch of notes inside with a little tiny pencil, and you wrote something that you just wanted to give to God, something that was just heavy on your shoulders.
Yeah.
That you just wanted to write down, just give it to God. God's got it. And we'd write it, and then we'd put it back underneath, in the little tin. And then once it's all full, then you can look at everything that you've given to God and see how you've improved, or how much more weightless that you feel. So I mean, as saying that there's a God, or I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
They definitely can be, or there definitely could have been, But as far as, is it something I practice every day? No, I think I'm more spiritual. I guess spiritual and religious are one and the same. Maybe I'm really iffy on this topic because I'm not educated on it, but I'm more one with.
But that nobody knows for sure.
No one knows for sure.
That's why it's faith, because faith can't exist without doubt.
Yeah, and I definitely have faith. Yep. I just think I'm so one with nature, because I always say nature knows. We cannot outsmart nature. And whether nature be God, right? Okay. Whether nature be whomever, I think it's all part of nature.
Yeah. And
nature is the most just knowledgeable. It just knows. Our biology means nature as well.
If there was a God, or if you had to transcribe to a religion, what do you think you would relate best to?
Yeah, probably a God.
But what God? Because there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah. See, I wouldn't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I have no idea.
Would it be like Allah or Buddha or Jesus or...
Okay, Jesus.
Jesus?
Yeah.
So you would lead more Christian. Yeah.
Okay. But probably because that's all I know.
If you had to. I'm asking.
Yeah.
What you're saying right now doesn't mean that's what you're adopting. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Do you pray?
Jesus. I've prayed for others before. So then sometimes I'm like, does my praying not working because I don't say, praise Jesus' name every day.
Right.
So then, but I think everyone can benefit from praying.
Yeah.
So I always would say I don't know how to pray.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to say, because my family we used to say grace.
Okay. And how would those start? I
never started them because I didn't know how, so. How
did your family start?
We would have our hands together. We'd bow our heads, and my dad would usually start it. It's like a nursery rhymes that I'm trying to remember. That's what this feels like.
Bless this food, that
bless
kind of
this
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then thank you. Would it be Jesus or God? We would say, there was a way he started it every time.
Yeah.
That's what we would do. So I guess that's a form of religion, right? But as far as something I do religiously, no. But would I be opposed to doing that? No.
It'd be great if it was real, right?
The thing is, sometimes I'll resort to praying or, talking to God. Because there's times where I do talk to God,
somebody bigger than you.
Yeah. In times of where I'm really worried.
Sure.
Right? But then sometimes I'm like, oh, can I do this? Because that does that mean I'm using someone?
Does it belong to you?
Well, I'm only resorting, or I'm only resorting to someone when I need it. That's almost contacting a friend whenever you need them, not when you just want to say hi.
I understand.
Right?
So
I don't just pop in and say hi.
You feel guilty?
Sometimes, because I'm asking for something. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for reassurance. I'm not just popping in to say what's up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
I would want that when a friend. But am I a bad person for just popping in
I don't think anybody
when I
could say
need
you're a
something?
bad person. I don't think anybody could say that.
What about you?
I pray. I try to pray. Recently, I've been having a really hard time.
Yeah.
I was hurt by the church bad. I wanted to be a pastor one day.
Yeah.
And I planted churches and like I did all that stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I did seminary classes and I studied the Bible and I wanted to do all that. And then I really just got shit on. And I went like not the opposite direction, but I stopped practicing, you know?
Someone crapped like on your dreams?
No, I was just really being used. I was being used as like a science experiment by the church. They wanted to use my testimony and my story, you know, gangster gone good. And I was put on display. And I was good enough to help set up and tear down and share my story. But I wasn't good enough to be invited to the birthday parties or the barbecues. I was still judged.
Yep.
You know, and that, you know, I think that's why so many people are turned off by the idea of religion because there's so many hypocrites out there.
Yeah.
And then you think about religion, one sect of religion, like let's just pick Christianity because
Yep.
that's what I know best, right? Christians don't even agree.
Yeah.
There's Methodists, there's Baptists, there's this, there's that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know, like you have Christians that don't even agree that there's a Trinity. It's like, well, like if you guys can't even agree on what there is, how are you going to teach anybody else to come in? And how, like, I would be turned off by the idea of God or Jesus as a newcomer. Luckily for me, that's what I was raised in.
So, yeah.
But what about the Muslim that was raised in a Muslim household? I'm wrong and he's right, or vice versa?
That's the thing about our world. We
Yeah.
have so many camps,
Yeah.
right? And I think maybe that's why deep down, I just resort to nature because that is something we all have to agree on, right? That's what we have. That's what we're surrounded by. Nature knows, right? When, you know, a plant, for example, a plant will curl up either when it has too much water or when it doesn't have enough water, whether because if it doesn't have enough water, it's trying to preserve its water, it's trying to protect away from the sun. If it has too much water, like, right, it's like too heavy. It knows how to respond in all situations. So I think that is something that is so universal, more so than a specific religion. You know, so I think that's why.
Do you think God could use that as an example? Like, do you think he spoke to you a certain way?
To make me believe this.
To make you believe that?
It's possible.
Because in the Bible, it would say worship the creator, not the creation. So do you think that he knows how you best learn and how you best get examples? So he spoke to you through that plant that curls up because he created it and he knew it would speak to your heart? Do you think, do you ever think that?
I can see that. No, I never thought that, but I can definitely see how that.
Yeah. Because if
could
there is a
be.
creator, he would know everything, right?
Yeah, about me.
And he would know everything about you. He knows every hair on your head, so he would know how to communicate best with you and what you need when you need it.
And the creator, you're saying, made nature.
Wouldn't he?
I guess.
Or they?
Yeah.
Like the creator would have created everything if he's creating us.
You don't think nature is a creator?
So if you would have asked me this 3 years
yeah,
ago,
I
I would
see
have been
that
like,
what you're
Jesus, the
saying.
way, the truth, and the light. Bam, that's what you need. You're going to go to hell if you don't. But then I started realizing, like, dude, I'm condemning people to hell in the name of Jesus.
You think? By just doing that?
I would tell them
Oh.
the only way to the kingdom is through Jesus.
Yeah.
If you don't believe what I believe, we know where you're going. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Oh.
That's-
You were just like telling them their fate.
Well, and I started realizing that I needed to kind of back off and cool off because I was only now reading the Bible just to have ammunition to tell other religions how they were wrong. And I liked
the right
to debate
reasons.
it.
Yeah.
And I liked to hear what you said. Well, I'd be like, well, in Leviticus 14. And I would just try to poke holes
Yeah.
in what you were steady believing in.
Yep.
That's not good. Jesus wouldn't want that.
I don't think so.
You know,
Yeah.
in the Bible, it says Jesus hated religion because he knew it would divide his people. What's it doing?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
The Muslim would tell me I'm going to hell. I would tell the Muslim he's going to hell.
Yeah.
And then we'd both mock the Buddhist and you know what I mean?
Oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where's the love if religion is based on that?
Yes. So I think
Show
there's
me that.
definitely not a cutoff, but if religion is serving as something to keep your own peace.
Yeah.
Right. Or to help you have a better outlook or have more hopefulness, by all means.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, when it starts to get to that line where we're arguing or who's right and
Right.
whose God is more powerful, then it defeats the whole purpose.
So that's why I understand when you're saying that you don't pray for yourself, you pray for others, because to me, praying for me feels too much like wishing. And I don't want to pray. I don't want to wish to an all powerful God. He might as well be a genie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the reason I even brought up religion and brought up a divorce and all that stuff, or just hard things in general, decisions that you have to make. I just want to know what you were rooted in. But it sounds like you are rooted in Rena.
That's the thing. I think that is what it really boils down to.
Yeah.
Is that I'm trying to be so one with myself.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sure, if this is certainty, then I can be so much more productive, effective, have more of an impact on someone, whether if all my pieces are out of sorts and nothing's connected, then how can I have that impact that I want to have on the world and other people? So I think that's
when you do your pros and cons for a hard decision, how many boxes do you need to check in order to know that you're doing the right thing? Like what percentage sure do you need to be to jump into it? Do you need to be 100% or is 70 good enough?
Yeah, I think no, I'm such a doubter. I always have doubts. I would say like this probably the 70 camp. Because for example, like my air runner, I have like a treadmill, like a big giant treadmill, and it's that curvy one, the Assault Fitness treadmill.
That's the one that only goes as fast as you go, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Like I ordered that. That was a little over like $3,000. I'm like, oh, is this a good decision? Like, I'll be dipping into my savings. Will I have room in the garage? Will I use it enough? Is it going to look like I bought this for, so I had so many doubts. And even after hitting order, I still had like so many doubts. Am I going to be able to put this together? I know this is a very like shallow example and it's just about an object, but that's, kind of how I can like paint the picture.
It was big to you.
It was big to me, but I think what makes that 70% feel whole, like 100%, is knowing myself. Again, I told myself I love fitness and I will find a way to use this as much as I can, whatever that means. So I think I knew that about myself. I knew that I love fitness. I knew that I love, the cardiovascular aspect of, of training. So that being rooted in yourself helps that, however, whatever percentage that is, feel whole. Does that make sense?
No, it does. But like trusting you to make the right decision for you.
I trust me. Yeah.
Does that ever get lonely?
No, because
really?
I know no one else can do that for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, and not even that I've been through a lot. I haven't been through, I haven't been through much of life in general. But
you've been through all of yours.
I've been through all of mine. Just being disappointed, right? Waiting on people, waiting for someone to provide this for me. I've grown sick of it already. I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of being let down, right? And so I know that I'm not going to do that to me.
Do people have a chance to make it into your life?
They do.
They do?
Yeah, and I give, but I kind of have. Sometimes I try to.
I'm speaking specifically for like a significant other.
Yeah. Sometimes I go between two camps. Like, am I a tell-all or do I keep my blinders up? Sometimes I find myself, wow, Rena, that was a lot of information that you just revealed. Did he really deserve to know all of that about you already? At other times I'm like, Rena, just let him in. Like, why are you being so, so it depends. It depends on the person. Are you a tell-all? Did you find like when you would date and stuff, like that you exposed more than you wanted to?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but I know that sometimes I'm very reserved, especially for like I'm being very vague with what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Right? But that's only because I'm not the type of person that goes and tells a lot of people my personal problems, because I know that I'm already so unsure with what I'm going to do. I can't handle multiple opinions. So I keep myself to myself because I can be swayed easily, because I can openly say, I don't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. So if you say something convincing enough, I'm going to go that.
Yeah, but you got to do with,
no, you're good.
with what's you're telling you.
Right.
Not
Right.
what people are swaying you to do.
But I know me as a person, I've spent so long avoiding the hard stuff and keeping myself busy with other things so that I don't have to make the hard decisions. But I'm in a point in my life now where that's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And I after having the surgery, I've realized that I have spent such a long time of my life unhappy and jealous that now that I'm feeling better and looking better and loving more about me, I feel like I don't want to waste any more time being unhappy because I feel like I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not obligated.
Yeah.
But I don't, like, sometimes I feel like I'm not strong enough to make the hard decisions just because I'm scared and I know it's going to hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were the perfect person to talk. I should have talked to you sooner about this because this helps me a lot.
It helps me
Yeah.
think about, because it helps me understand this show. I learn more about myself.
Really?
Through our conversation. I really do. Because I don't have, I don't talk about these type of things with other people.
Yeah.
Often,
So it doesn't need to be on the show. You can call me anytime.
Yeah.
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 I
just talk about, I mean, you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
But I feel so much comes out, and I learn more about who I am at my roots. Because essentially that's what we're all trying to figure out,
That's
right?
it.
And I mean, do you think once we reach like 85, 90 that we know we could make a whole book about us? Do you think or there's still things to know? You're always, because I mean, your feelings always change. Things change. The way you feel, your perceptions change.
Yeah.
But I've always thought people are who they are at their roots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at this, I don't know what age that you figure that out. But I almost like, if I'm picturing myself as this big stump, my roots are slowly, not my roots, but my branches, right? They're forming, and it's just,
but you have a
so
good base.
Yeah.
You're doing I've told you this since the first time I met. You're doing so much better in life than like 80% of the people.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I am proud of you. And I love seeing it. And like, I feel, not that you need my approval or that you need my seal or anything, but it's like, I am so confident that Rena's going to be okay.
Oh.
And that feels good. Like, I have a friend who I know is good.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah. That's so funny. I have that on my stomach right here. You knew that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's like exactly what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
it's
gosh.
it's a freeing feeling because like I have a friend that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I just get to be a friend with and watch and love and support.
Yeah.
And like, that's cool.
Not like fix.
No.
Yeah.
No, because you don't need anything from me. I don't need anything from you. We're just two people who enjoy and are coming together and to share. And like, that's great. And I've told you that I've never met anybody like you.
Oh.
Not ever in my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. I think, and I say that to tell you that, dude, you're going to be such a good fucking teacher.
Thank you.
For real. And you're going to change kids' lives.
Yeah.
And in 20 years, people are going to be talking about Miss Rena. I'm telling you.
That's like,
it's excellent.
And it's not even, it does sound kind of vain saying like, that's what I want. But like, of course, I want to have an impact on someone, whatever that is. Even if it's one skill.
Yeah.
She taught me how to blend, sound out words, whatever. Or she was there for me.
Yeah.
She listened to me.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, a kid's emotions are just not emotions, but their behavior. It's an outcome. It's a reaction. Something caused, I don't know, the whole like the input output system, So if I'm able to see through that, to see past that, and just sit back and listen, not respond, because a teacher or whoever's instinct is, you're disrupting my class,
right,
remove yourself,
right,
instead of what's going on.
Yeah.
How can we improve this?
Yeah.
It's giving that, it's patience.
Yeah. And do you think you have it?
I think I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But do you have the discipline in you though? That's a thing, like.
I think I was going to touch on this saying no, or if someone, well, I guess I already kind of touched on it with the whole shoulder tap thing, but no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I never liked that. Or because I knew what things made me sad and made me feel like someone was mad at me. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm mad at them, you know.
Especially little guys, because they hold on to that.
No way, because we say things just that we think that we don't think anything of it, right? But that sticks with them for years. It can stick with them for a long time. So the delivery, that's really what I want to make. And I don't think I'll have a problem with that, because I'm so cautious of it that I know my delivery is going to be good, but it's just it's to the point where I'm like, I'm scared that kids might walk all over that, you know, because it might be too nice, you know. Instead of stop doing that, is there maybe something else that we can try, you know, something like that. But
well, we're on time, but I have one more question that I want to ask you. Do you are you nervous for the pressure that you might feel knowing that parents are trusting you to basically raise and protect their kids, because you're going to be spending more time with them than they might be?
Heck yeah. Even when people ask me to write them a training program, right? Or hey, can you personal train me? Or like, no, because your results are in my hands and I'm terrified.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of you not getting results and it being my fault.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1,000%. I'm fearful.
And what are you going to do? Just trust that Rena's got Rena?
I'm going to trust that by that time, because like, again, I'll know. I'll know when my time is now. I'll know when it's ready. I'll get that feeling. My body or my instinct or whatever, my soul will tell me it's go time. You're equipped. You got it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So
and you trust that?
I do. Or at least when the time is right, I know that all my eggs will have, my ducks will be in a basket.
I'm going to need that book.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that
book.
book.
I'll send you a picture of it. Yeah. Loving What Is.
And it's, would you recommend it to everybody?
1,000%.
Really?
Yeah.
It did something for you?
Yep. Oh my gosh.
How did you hear about it?
I was listening to another podcast about like emotional health, and they had mentioned, Byron Katie, this and that. And that'd be like the third time that I'd heard it. I'm like, who's this Byron Katie? Is this a guy?
Yeah.
But it's a lady, and she's just, oh my gosh.
Just good stuff.
She's just, it's out of this world.
It's what okay.
Yeah. You know how you said you've never met anyone like me? Like, as to you. Yeah. You know, but her, I've never seen it.
Really? Mm-mm. Well, that's great.
She's, oh my, I don't even know her. And you know, it feels like I do.
Have you only read that one book from her?
Just that one book. I don't know what other books she has. I'll have to look at it. But Loving What Is, and it's just, it's truly freed me. Yeah. It's made me, I have such peace. Yeah. Yeah.
Any last words? Sounds like I'm going to kill you, huh?
You know what? I actually, when Daniel had asked what I wanted to say to the women, I had said go slow. But I also want to tell women, like, don't be afraid to be strong. You know? Being strong. Oh, I don't want that much muscle, this and that. Muscle is beautiful. Muscle's hard to build, but muscle is beautiful. Do not be afraid to be a strong-minded woman, to make a choice, you know, and be sure in your decision. So
that's beautiful.
Be afraid to be strong.
I think that even goes towards people.
Everything.
You know? Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry after this just because you've
on my way home. I won't be able to see.
Yeah.
You have to pull over.
Who am I? I'm going to take us out, dude. I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. And I know, like I said, I know it's short notice, but I love one-on-ones with you. I didn't want to miss this opportunity.
I love this. I love my drive here. Yeah. I passed so much land on my way here. So nice.
I'm out here. So all right, great. Here we go. Thanks, guys, for watching episode 78 of the Sonder Experience. If you can do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe just to help support the channel. That would really mean a lot to me. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Later. And that's it.
Dude, that was so...
The Sonder Experience.